Story 1. When Darkness Invades. It was a moonless night, shrouded in an impenetrable darkness that weighed upon my home. The silence of the late hour enveloped me as I settled into the comfort of my bed, ready to succumb to the embrace of sleep. Little did I know that this seemingly peaceful night would soon transform into a chilling nightmare, a harrowing encounter with the malevolence that lurks in the shadows. As I drifted on the edge of consciousness, a noise shattered the stillness, jolting me from my slumber. A creaking floorboard, a subtle but unmistakable sound. Panic surged through my veins as I strained my ears, listening for any further signs of intrusion. My heart pounded within my chest as I stealthily crept out of bed, careful not to make a sound. The familiar surroundings of my home felt foreign, imbued with a sinister energy. With trepidation, I ventured into the darkened hallway, the weight of uncertainty settling upon my shoulders. As I reached the top of the staircase, a flicker of movement caught my attention, a silhouette lurking in the shadows below. Fear clenched at my throat as I struggled to comprehend the intruder's intent. Every instinct urged me to retreat, to find safety, but a fierce determination coursed through my veins. I would not be a victim in my own home. With bated breath, I descended the stairs, each step bringing me closer to the enigmatic presence that had invaded my sanctuary. The air grew colder, heavy with an aura of malevolence. The scent of danger hung thick, and I fought to steady my trembling hands. My pulse quickened as I rounded the corner, my eyes locking onto the intruder. Their features were shrouded in darkness, their intentions hidden beneath a veil of anonymity. Yet a sinister grin played upon their lips, a chilling revelation of the ill intent that had brought them into my home. Fear mingled with adrenaline as I confronted the intruder, my voice trembling but determined. I demanded answers, a plea for mercy in the face of the unknown. But the intruder remained silent, their presence becoming a specter of terror that enveloped us both. In the darkness, a game of cat and mouse ensued, a battle for survival within the confines of my own home. Shadows danced and twisted, masking the intruder's movements, their steps as silent as a predator in the night. Each corner I turned held the possibility of an encounter that could tip the scales of this deadly confrontation. Time seemed to stretch, seconds feeling like eternities as I fought to outwit my mysterious adversary. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind against the windows sent shivers down my spine. The lines between hunter and hunted blurred, my instincts guiding me through the perilous dance of evasion and pursuit. As the night wore on, exhaustion threatened to overtake me. The intruder's persistence waned not, their determination a chilling testament to their nefarious intent. But within the depths of my fear, a surge of resolve ignited, a final stand against the darkness that sought to claim. In a fleeting moment of opportunity, I unleashed a torrent of courage, a desperate act of defiance. I fought back, unleashing a cacophony of screams and defensive maneuvers. The intruder recoiled, their grip on my sanctuary weakened. In the climactic struggle, the veil of anonymity fell away, revealing the face of a stranger, a mere mortal driven by malevolence or desperation. The realization washed over me. This was not a faceless monster, but a person, a flawed and broken soul. With a final burst of adrenaline, I forced the intruder out of my home, their retreat a victory against the encroaching darkness. As I locked the door behind them, a mix of emotions flooded over me, a potent blend of relief, triumph, and lingering unease. The echoes of that night still resonate within the walls of my home, a constant reminder of the fragile boundary that separates safety from vulnerability. Yet, through the ordeal, I emerged stronger, a guardian of my own sanctuary, forever vigilant against the encroachment of darkness. For within the deepest realms of our own homes, a battle against the unknown can shape our very essence, reminding us that the true strength lies not only in the walls that surround us, but also within the depths of our own resolve. Next story. The Desolate Highway. The moon hung high in the night sky, casting an ethereal glow upon the deserted road ahead. The hum of the engine reverberated through the car, the rhythmic sound soothing my weary mind. It was a late-night drive, a moment of solitude to escape the burdens of life. Little did I know that this solitary journey would lead me down a path of terror, where the boundaries between reality and nightmare would blur. As I ventured deeper into the night, a sense of unease settled within me. The familiar landscapes took on an eerie quality, their shadows elongated and twisted by the dim glow of the moon. The air grew heavy with anticipation, as if it held secrets waiting to be unraveled. But I pressed on, drawn to the allure of the open road and the promise of solitude it offered. The silence enveloped me like a comforting shroud, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. The road stretched endlessly before me, its black expanse disappearing into the abyss of the night. But as the minutes turned into hours, a subtle shift occurred. A subtle shift in the atmosphere that sent a shiver down my spine. It started with a flicker of movement at the edge of my vision. I dismissed it as a trick of the light, a figment of my tired imagination. But the flicker persisted, growing bolder with each passing mile. Shadows danced at the periphery of my vision, elusive and unsettling. Doubt crept into my mind, casting a veil of uncertainty over the once serene drive. Then a sudden gust of wind howled through the open windows, carrying with it a whisper, a chilling whisper that seemed to emanate from the very darkness itself. Goosebumps prickled on my skin as the words echoed through the car, their meaning lost in the chaotic symphony of the night. It was a voice, an otherworldly voice that spoke of forgotten tragedies and the toll they took on the living. Fear gripped my heart as I struggled to maintain control of the car. The road seemed to twist and turn, the familiar landmarks replaced by a distorted nightmare. Desperation surged within me, urging me to find an escape from this surreal labyrinth. But with each turn, the path became more convoluted, leading me deeper into an unknown realm. A figure materialized at the side of the road, a silhouette shrouded in darkness. It stood motionless, its presence radiating an aura of malevolence. As I approached, the figure vanished, leaving behind an unsettling emptiness. The encounter left me trembling, questioning the reality of what I had witnessed. But the terrors were far from over. Shadows danced and contorted, morphing into grotesque shapes that lurched towards the car. Their unearthly wails filled the air, a cacophony of anguish and despair. Panic consumed me as I swerved and dodged their phantom forms, the headlights casting fleeting glimpses of their twisted visages. With each passing mile, the nightmare intensified. The road ahead seemed endless, a never-ending loop that held me captive. I cried out for help, but my pleas were swallowed by the howling wind. The night had become a prison, and I was its unwilling captive. And then, just as despair threatened to consume me, a glimmer of light pierced through the darkness. An old gas station emerged from the shadows, its neon sign flickering in the night. Hope ignited within me as I pulled into the desolate lot, seeking refuge from the horrors that pursued me. But the gas station was not the sanctuary I had hoped for. Its walls bore the scars of past terrors, the remnants of a tragedy that had unfolded within its walls. The air hung heavy with a sense of dread, as if the very structure pulsated with a malevolent force. I hesitated, caught between the allure of shelter and the instinct to flee. As I stepped inside, the flickering fluorescent lights illuminated a scene frozen in time. Abandoned shelves, shattered glass, and blood-stained walls bore witness to the darkness that had once engulfed this place. Whispers echoed through the aisles, the voices of the lost and tormented. A figure materialized from the shadows, a specter of the past trapped in this haunting realm. It beckoned me towards it, its eyes filled with sorrow and longing. Fear and curiosity warred within me as I approached, compelled by an unseen force. The figure's voice was a mere whisper, a whisper that held the weight of an eternity. It spoke of a tragic event that had unfolded within these walls, a tale of betrayal, violence, and restless souls bound to this forsaken place. The gas station had become a conduit between the living and the dead, its twisted history forever etched into its very foundations. In that moment, a realization washed over me. The night drive had been a journey into the realm of the supernatural, a confrontation with the darkness that dwells within us all. I had unwittingly stepped into a world where the boundaries between reality and nightmare were blurred, where the past and present converged in a terrifying dance. With newfound determination, I made my escape from the gas station, leaving behind the spirits and their haunting whispers. As the road stretched before me once more, the horrors gradually faded, replaced by the familiar landscapes of the waking world. The night drive had forever changed me, a reminder that there are realms beyond our understanding, lurking just beneath the surface of our everyday lives. But as I drove into the dawn, the memory of that night lingered, a testament to the fragile balance between light and darkness, between the mundane and the supernatural. The road ahead may be filled with uncertainties, but I would face them with a newfound resilience, forever haunted by the echoes of that fateful, terrifying journey. Next story. The Veiled Encounter. The engine hummed as I ventured into the night, the familiar road stretching before me like an open invitation. The moon cast an eerie glow upon the surroundings, lending an otherworldly quality to the journey. It was a late-night drive, a chance to clear my mind and escape the chaos of daily life. Little did I know that this drive would take me down a path of inexplicable events, where the boundaries between reality and the supernatural would blur. As the miles rolled by, a sense of unease settled within me. The stillness of the night was broken only by the sound of my own breathing, each exhale carrying a hint of anticipation. Shadows danced at the edges of my vision, elusive and unsettling. It felt as unseen eyes watched from the darkness, their gaze piercing through the veil of the night. A thick fog rolled in, shrouding the road in a hazy mist. Visibility dwindled, and a sense of disorientation settled upon me. I pressed on cautiously, relying on instinct and the dim glow of the headlights to guide me through the enigmatic landscape. The fog seemed to distort reality, turning the familiar into something mysterious and unpredictable. Then a figure materialized through the fog, a spectral presence standing at the side of the road. My heart skipped a beat as I slowed down, peering into the misty gloom. The figure, cloaked in a tattered shroud, beckoned me closer with a ghostly hand. Fear and curiosity warred within me as I cautiously approached, drawn to the enigmatic allure of the veiled stranger. As I rolled down the window, a cold breeze swept through the car, carrying with it a whisper that seemed to emanate from the very fabric of the night. It spoke of forgotten tales, of tragic events that had unfolded in the shadowy corners of this forsaken place. The figure's eyes gleamed with a mixture of sadness and longing, as if yearning to share their untold story with a willing listener. Driven by a sense of empathy and a desire to uncover the truth, I stepped out of the car, venturing into the swirling mist. The figure guided me further into the ethereal realm, leading me through a path I never knew existed. Each step brought me deeper into a forgotten realm, where the boundaries of time and space dissolved. A decrepit mansion materialized through the fog, its silhouette rising like a specter from the past. Its walls exuded a haunting aura, as if they held the secrets of centuries gone by. The figure led me inside, the air heavy with a palpable sense of history and tragedy. Within the mansion's shadowy halls, whispers echoed, carrying fragments of the past to my ears. I was immersed in a tapestry of forgotten voices, the tales of those who had met tragic fates within these walls. The spirits lingered, their ethereal presence blending with the very essence of the mansion. Each room held a story, each hallway bore witness to the passage of time. As I delved deeper in the mansion's depths, I encountered chilling apparitions, each more haunting than the last. They beckoned me forward, their spectral forms shimmering with an otherworldly light. Memories unfolded before my eyes, a tragic romance, an unspeakable betrayal, a relentless pursuit of revenge. The spirits shared their pain and longing, as if their souls were forever bound to this earthly plane, seeking resolution and release. I listened, my heart heavy with empathy, my mind spinning with the weight of their stories. But as the night wore on, the line between the living and the dead blurred further. The spectral presence surrounding me grew more intense, their influence seeping into my very being. It was as if the mansion itself had come alive, an embodiment of the tormented souls trapped within its walls. Fear gripped me as I realized the mansion's hold on my soul. The spirit's longing became my own, their pain etched into my heart. I yearned for escape, for release from this ethereal prison. With every ounce of strength left within me, I fought against the alluring yet suffocating grip of the supernatural realm. As I broke free from the mansion's clutches, gasping for breath in the cool night air, a profound sense of relief washed over me. The fog lifted, revealing the familiar road bathed in moonlight. The spectral figures faded into the mist, their stories echoing in my memory. The drive continued, but it was no longer a solitary journey. The encounters with the supernatural had forever changed me, imprinted upon my soul. The boundaries between the seen and the unseen had blurred, and the veil of the supernatural had been momentarily lifted. As I drove into the dawn, a mix of awe and trepidation settled within me. The mysterious events of that night had left an indelible mark, a reminder that there are realms beyond our understanding. The drive had become a conduit to a world where the past and the present converged, where the living and the dead danced in a delicate balance. From that day forward, I carried the weight of the supernatural encounters, forever haunted by the secrets whispered in the night. The drive had become a testament to the unfathomable mysteries that lie hidden within the fabric of existence, a reminder that reality can be both mesmerizing and terrifying in equal measure. Next story. The Midnight Pursuit. The night air was thick with anticipation as I embarked on a late-night drive, seeking solace in the solitude of the open road. The darkness enveloped me like a cloak, the rhythmic hum of the engine the only companion on this nocturnal journey. But little did I know that this drive would take an unexpected turn into a realm of danger and suspense, where the lines between hunter and prey would blur. As I ventured further into the night, a sense of unease settled upon me. Shadows danced along the edges of the road, their movements fluid and unsettling. An inexplicable chill ran down my spine, and a tingling sensation crept over my skin. I dismissed it as mere imagination, a product of the late hour and my weary mind. However, the unease grew more palpable when I noticed a pair of headlights in my rearview mirror, trailing my every move. My heart quickened its pace as a flicker of fear ignited within me. It was no longer a coincidence. I was being followed. Questions swirled in my mind. Who was behind me? What were their intentions? The once comforting darkness now became a shroud of uncertainty. As the pursuer drew closer, their presence intensified, casting a foreboding shadow over my journey. A knot of anxiety tightened in my chest, urging me to take action. Thoughts of escape flooded my mind as I contemplated the next move. With a surge of adrenaline, I veered off the main road, hoping to lose my pursuer amidst the labyrinthine network of side streets. In the labyrinth of dimly lit alleys, I wove through the night like a hunted animal. The pursuer's headlights continued to illuminate my path, their relentless pursuit closing in. Panic gripped me as I realized the gravity of the situation. The chase was no mere coincidence. It was a deliberate act of menace. I navigated the maze of streets, taking sudden turns and doubling back. But my pursuer matched my every move. The chase grew more intense, adrenaline coursing through my veins, fueling my determination to escape the clutches of this relentless hunter. My mind raced, searching for an exit strategy, an opportunity to break free from this dangerous game. In a desperate bid to elude my pursuer, I veered onto an isolated road that snaked through dense woodland. The towering trees cast elongated shadows upon the winding path, adding an eerie ambience to the chase. With each passing mile, the sense of isolation deepened, amplifying the weight of the situation. Suddenly, the pursuer's headlights vanished, plunging me into an abyss of darkness. Relief mingled with trepidation as I wondered if I had finally shaken them off. But as my eyes adjusted to the gloom, I discerned a faint glow emanating from the depths of the forest. A flickering light danced between the trees, beckoning me towards it. Driven by a mixture of curiosity and the hope of assistance, I cautiously approached the source of the mysterious glow. The light led me to an abandoned cabin nestled deep within the woods, a dilapidated structure that seemed frozen in time. With trepidation, I stepped inside, my senses on high alert. The cabin's interior was shrouded in shadow, the air heavy with the scent of decay. Whispers of the wind seeped through the cracks in the walls, creating an eerie symphony that heightened my unease. Something felt amiss, a lingering presence that set my nerves on edge. But with the pursuer still at large, the cabin offered a temporary respite from the chase. As I sought refuge within the cabin's walls, a startling revelation emerged. The pursuer had not been the only threat. It became clear that the cabin itself held its own dark secrets, a history steeped in violence and tragedy. The walls bore the scars of a forgotten past, a tapestry of suffering etched into the very essence of the structure. Haunted whispers filled the air, recounting tales of desperate souls who had sought solace within these walls, only to meet their tragic demise. Their restless spirits lingered, their anguish imprinted upon the cabin's decaying framework. The realization sent a chill down my spine as I realized I had unwittingly stepped into a world where danger lurked both outside and within. With renewed determination, I pushed forward, propelled by an indomitable will to survive. The chase resumed, the pursuit escalating to new heights of intensity. The pursuer's presence loomed like a specter, their determination unwavering. But with every twist and turn, every calculated maneuver, I fought to maintain the upper hand. Through the darkest hours of the night, the chase continued, an intricate dance between hunter and hunted. Each passing mile brought me closer to the limits of my physical and mental endurance. Doubt seeped into my thoughts, threatening to erode my resolve. But with every beat of my heart, I found the strength to push forward, to evade capture, and reclaim my freedom. Finally, as the first rays of dawn bathed the landscape in a golden glow, the pursuer's presence faded into the distance. The chase had come to an end, leaving behind a trail of questions and an indelible mark upon my spirit. Though I had evaded capture, the memory of the harrowing ordeal would forever linger, a reminder of the fragility of life and the depths of human darkness. As I drove into the light of a new day, a sense of triumph washed over me. The late-night drive had transformed into a life-altering pursuit, one that had tested my strength, resilience, and will to survive. The events had left an indelible mark upon my soul, a reminder of the thin line that separates safety from danger and the lengths we are capable of going to protect ourselves. Next story. Whispers in the dark. Deep within the heart of the dense forest, I ventured alone, seeking solace and a break from the chaotic world. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie glow among the towering trees. With each step, the silence of the woods became deafening. An inexplicable sense of unease settled upon me. As twilight descended, the forest transformed into an otherworldly realm. Shadows danced upon the forest floor, and the rustling of leaves became whispers in the wind. But amidst the serenity, a sinister undercurrent emerged. I found myself drawn deeper into the woods, my curiosity overpowering any lingering trepidation. The air grew heavy with anticipation, and an unexplainable pull urged me forward. Unbeknownst to me, the woods held secrets that were about to reveal themselves. As darkness blanketed the landscape, an eerie hush enveloped the forest. I shivered, my senses on high alert. In the distance, a chilling sound echoed, a faint cry, barely discernible. Fear gripped my heart as I questioned the origin of the haunting plea. Driven by a mix of curiosity and concern, I followed the ethereal cries, navigating through the labyrinthine paths. Each step brought me closer to the source of the chilling sounds, and an oppressive atmosphere closed in around me. Suddenly, the forest seemed alive with unseen eyes, watching my every move. Twigs snapped and branches cracked, as if the very essence of the woods conspired against me. I quickened my pace, a rising panic urging me forward. Then I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in moonlight, revealing a ghastly sight. A cluster of figures draped in tattered garments, their faces twisted with anguish. Their spectral apparitions whispered mournful tales of loss and betrayal, their voices intertwining in a chorus of torment. In their despair, they reached out to me, their translucent hands grazing my skin. Panic surged through me as I realized the depth of their longing, to escape their spectral prison and find solace in the mortal realm. With trembling hands, I offered my empathy and understanding, attempting to bridge the gap between the living and the dead. But as I delved deeper into their stories, I unwittingly unleashed a malevolent force, a dark entity that sought to claim my soul as payment for their liberation. In a desperate struggle for survival, I fought against the suffocating darkness, my every instinct screaming to escape. But the woods had become a labyrinth, shifting and twisting, trapping me within its clutches. The haunting cries of the spirits mingled with my desperate screams, a symphony of despair. Just as all hope seemed lost, a faint glimmer of light pierced the darkness, a sliver of dawn breaking through the forest canopy. With a surge of newfound strength, I mustered every ounce of courage, breaking free from the entity's grip. As I emerged from the depths of the woods, I realized the fragility of the boundary between the mortal world and the realm of spirits. The harrowing experience taught me the importance of respecting the unknown and understanding that the woods hold secrets that are not meant to be disturbed. The haunting whispers of that fateful night would forever echo in my mind, a reminder of the dark forces that reside within the depths of the forest. And though I had escaped their clutches, I would forever bear the scars of that otherworldly encounter, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a lone wanderer caught in the midst of an unworldly dance. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and yet the memories of that encounter never faded. I became obsessed with understanding the secrets of the forest, determined to uncover the truth behind the ethereal whispers. I returned to the woods armed with books, equipment, and a relentless curiosity. I ventured deeper, immersing myself in the history and folklore that surrounded these mystical lands. The stories spoke of ancient rituals, vengeful spirits, and the thin veil between worlds. Night after night, I delved into the darkness, seeking answers to the mysteries that had plagued me. I met wise old hermits who spoke in riddles and encountered ancient symbols etched upon the trees. Each step brought me closer to the heart of the forest, closer to the truth that eluded me. One fateful night, as the moon cast an ethereal glow upon the forest floor, I stumbled upon an ancient altar, a relic of a forgotten time. Its stone surface was weathered and worn, etched with symbols that pulsed with an otherworldly energy. Driven by a mixture of excitement and trepidation, I approached the altar, my fingers tracing the ancient carvings. As I touched the symbols, a surge of power coursed through me, connecting me to the forces that resided within the woods. Visions flashed before my eyes, a tapestry of past and present intertwining in a symphony of knowledge and understanding. The whispers that once haunted me transformed into guides, leading me deeper into the secrets of the forest. As the days turned into nights and the nights turned into endless exploration, I uncovered the truth. The spirits that had once tormented me were not malevolent entities, but lost souls seeking redemption. They yearned for their stories to be heard, their pain acknowledged. With newfound purpose, I dedicated myself to helping these spirits find peace. I performed ancient rituals, spoke words of solace, and offered prayers to guide them towards the light. One by one, they dissipated, their anguished cries replaced by a sense of tranquility. The forest became my sanctuary, a place where I communed with nature and spirits intertwined. I became a guardian of these lands, a bridge between the physical and the spiritual realm. And though the woods still held their secrets, I no longer feared them. Instead, I embraced the whispers in the dark as a testament to the interconnectedness of all things, mortal and ethereal, light and shadow. Next story. The Tenebrous Encounters. It was a stormy night, rain pelting against the windows as I huddled alone in my cozy home. The comforting glow of the fireplace cast dancing shadows on the walls, offering solace against the tempestuous world outside. The rhythmic patter of raindrops on the roof created a symphony of serenity, lulling me into a false sense of security. However, little did I know that within the safety of my own abode, an otherworldly presence was about to awaken, shattering the tranquility that surrounded me. As the hours passed and the storm raged on, an unsettling stillness settled upon the house. The familiar creaks and groans of an old structure took on a sinister tone, like a haunting melody playing in the background. A shiver ran down my spine, and I found myself second-guessing every sound, every movement. It was as if the very foundations of my home held secrets that were about to be unleashed upon my unsuspecting soul. I tried to dismiss the unease, attributing it to the weather and my own overactive imagination. But as I sat in the dimly lit room, a flicker of movement caught my eye, a shadowy figure, fleeting and indistinct. It was like catching a glimpse of something that shouldn't exist, a manifestation of the unknown. My heart skipped a beat, and a chill seeped into the air, wrapping its icy tendrils around my heart. The atmosphere grew heavy, as if the room itself held its breath, waiting to reveal its secrets. With trembling hands, I reached for the light switch, illuminating the room in a harsh glare. But to my dismay, the figure had vanished, leaving me to question my own sanity. Was it a trick of the light, a figment of my imagination? Or was there something more sinister lurking within the confines of my home, hiding just beyond the threshold of my perception? The uncertainty gnawed at my mind, leaving me with a sense of foreboding that lingered long after the lights had been extinguished. Night after night, the encounters continued. A whisper in the darkness, a chilling touch on my shoulder, the sensation of being watched even when I was supposedly alone. Objects moved without explanation, shifting from their rightful places as if guided by an unseen force. Disembodied voices echoed through the halls, their hushed whispers reverberating through the empty rooms, tinged with a mix of sorrow and malice. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, leaving me in a perpetual state of dread, teetering on the precipice of fear and disbelief. Determined to uncover the truth, I delved into the history of my home, a place with a past as murky as the shadows that danced along its walls. The journey through the annals of time led me down a labyrinth of forgotten tales, a tapestry woven with threads of tragedy and despair. It was then that I discovered a series of unsettling events, a tale of a tragic death, of a restless, soul-seeking revenge, and a house forever marked by darkness. The pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, each revelation deepening the mystery, drawing me further into the abyss of the unknown. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I sought to communicate with the malevolent presence that haunted me. I enlisted the help of paranormal investigators, mediums, and priests, each offering their unique perspective and expertise in navigating the ethereal realm. Together, we delved deeper into the dark corners of the supernatural, hoping to shed light on the enigma that enveloped my home. In the dead of night, we gathered in a circle, hands clasped tightly as we summoned the spirit that resided within my home. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, each breath infused with anticipation and trepidation. The room grew heavy, a palpable tension hanging in the air. The veil between the living and the dead grew thin, and a figure materialized before our eyes, a specter consumed by rage and despair, an embodiment of the pain and suffering that had festered within these walls. Through anguished cries and tormented wails, the spirit revealed the depths of their suffering, the injustices that had been inflicted upon them, the pain that had fueled their malevolence. Their existence had become a twisted prison, their restless souls bound to this earthly plane, unable to find solace or release. As their story unfolded, my heart ached with empathy, a deep understanding of their need for vengeance, their yearning for justice. Filled with empathy and compassion, I offered a plea for forgiveness. I acknowledged their pain, their need for retribution, and vowed to right the wrongs that had bound them to this ethereal existence. I spoke words of remorse, hoping to ease their burden, to provide them with the closure they so desperately sought. The spirit hesitated, their ethereal form flickering with uncertainty, torn between their desire for retribution and the glimmer of redemption that had been offered. And then, with a surge of otherworldly energy, the spirit dissipated, leaving behind an eerie calm that permeated the room. The haunting that had plagued my home ceased, replaced by a profound stillness, a silence that carried the weight of 1,000 whispered secrets. My home was free, cleansed of the malevolent presence that had tormented it for far too long. In that moment, I felt a sense of peace, a sigh of relief that echoed through the very essence of my being. As the years passed, the memories of those harrowing nights would forever be etched into the tapestry of my existence, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of forgiveness, and the enduring presence of the supernatural. The house that once bore the burden of a tragic past became a symbol of transformation, a beacon of hope and redemption. And though the scars of those encounters remained, they served as a reminder of the fragile balance between our world and the realm beyond. urging us to respect the boundaries that separate the living from the dead. They whispered a haunting lesson: never underestimate the depths of darkness that can reside within the very walls we call home. Next story: The Shadows of Survival. The moon hung low in the night sky, casting a pale glow over my quiet neighborhood. I lay in bed, enveloped in the comforting embrace of darkness, unaware that danger prowled just beyond my front door. The stillness of the late hour was shattered by a sudden shattering sound, a chilling omen that sent a surge of adrenaline coursing through my veins. Fear seized me as I jolted upright, my senses heightened by the looming presence of an intruder. Panic set in, and instinct drove me to action. In the heart, stopping silence that followed, I slipped out of bed and into the shadows, my every movement cautious and deliberate. As I tiptoed through the dimly lit hallway, my pulse thundered in my ears. The floorboards creaked beneath my weight, each sound amplifying my vulnerability. I dared not turn on the lights, lest I betray my location to the unseen predator who had infiltrated my sanctuary. My heart pounded with every step as I sought refuge in the darkest corner of the house. I crouched low, my breath held in anticipation. The room around me seemed to hold its breath as I strained to listen, the adrenaline, fueled anticipation propelling me forward. Time stretched into an interminable void as I huddled in the confines of my hiding place, the air heavy with the scent of fear. My mind became a whirlwind of thoughts, conjuring scenarios of the intruder's motives and the extent of the threat that now loomed over me. Minutes bled into hours, and yet the intruder's presence persisted. Shadows danced across the room, their sinuous movements taunting me, reminding me of the ever-present danger that lingered just beyond my line of sight. I fought to maintain composure, to stifle the nagging voice of fear that threatened to consume me. A sliver of moonlight sliced through the darkness, casting ethereal illumination upon the room. In its soft glow, I caught a glimpse of the intruder, a phantom figure, a features obscured by the mask of darkness. A shiver ran down my spine as I realized that they were closer than I had anticipated. Silent footsteps reverberated through the house, growing louder with each passing moment. The intruder's intent remained a sinister mystery, their motives veiled in shadow. Every creak, every whisper of movement sent a jolt of panic coursing through my veins. My breath held in anticipation of the unknown. Suddenly, the intruder halted, their presence hovering just beyond my hiding spot. My heart thudded in my chest, the sound threatening to betray my desperate attempt at concealment. Sweat trickled down my brow as I willed myself to remain motionless, to blend into the darkness that surrounded me. Time seemed to stand still as the intruder's gaze scanned the room, their eyes searching for any sign of my presence. Shadows writhed and contorted, concealing me from their probing sight. It was a tense dance of predator and prey, my survival dependent on the darkness that granted me temporary sanctuary. Minutes stretched like an eternity, each passing second an agonizing test of my resolve. Then, as suddenly as they had arrived, the intruder's footsteps faded away, their presence dissipating into the night. I released the breath I'd been holding, relief flooding my senses. As dawn broke, casting its warm embrace upon the world, I emerged from my hiding place, my body trembling with a mixture of fear and relief. The encounter had forever changed me, etching scars upon my soul and imparting a heightened sense of vigilance. Though the threat had retreated into the shadows, the memory of that night would forever be imprinted upon my consciousness, a chilling reminder of the fragility of our security and the lengths we will go to protect what is ours. I emerged from that experience stronger, resolved to fortify my defenses and forever carry the weight of survival in the face of the unknown. Next story: The Silent Pursuit. The night cloaked my home in an inky darkness as I lay in bed, the silence broken only by the distant hum of the city. Unbeknownst to me, an intruder had breached the sanctity of my haven, their presence like a venomous serpent coiled in the shadows. A shiver ran down my spine as a creak echoed from downstairs, a chilling reminder of the impending danger. Fear gripped me as I clutched the sheets, my mind racing with thoughts of escape. I had to act swiftly, silently, to outsmart the intruder who now threatened to shatter the peace I held dear. With trembling limbs, I slipped out of bed, my footsteps cautious as I navigated the treacherous path through the darkness. Every sound magnified, each creak of the floorboards a potential alarm. I had to remain invisible, a ghost in my own home as I sought refuge in the shadows. The adrenaline coursing through my veins fueled my determination to survive, to outlast the predator who hunted me. As I hid, my heart pounding in my chest, I strained to hear any signs of the intruder's approach. The house seemed to hold its breath, the silence heavy with menace. A whisper of movement reached my ears, a chilling reminder that danger lurked just beyond my field of vision. Minutes stretched into an eternity as I clung to the darkness, my senses sharpened to their limits. Shadows played tricks on my mind, morphing into grotesque shapes that seemed to leer at me from the corners of the room. But I couldn't succumb to the terror that threatened to consume me. I had to stay alert to outwit my pursuer. Footsteps echoed in the distance, growing closer with each passing moment. The intruder's intent remained unknown, their motives a twisted enigma. The air became charged with tension, anticipation mingling with fear as I prepared to confront the looming threat. A sliver of moonlight pierced through a crack in the curtains, casting an ethereal glow upon the room. In its pale radiance, I caught a glimpse of the intruder, an ominous figure, their features obscured by the veil of darkness. A surge of adrenaline coursed through my veins as I prepared for the inevitable confrontation. Silent footsteps approached, their rhythm like a haunting symphony. The room seemed to close in around me, the walls pressing against my trembling form. I fought to steady my breathing to remain invisible in the face of imminent danger. The intruder loomed just beyond my hiding spot, their presence a palpable weight in the air. My heart threatened to burst from my chest as their gaze swept the room, searching for any trace of my existence. I willed myself to blend into the darkness, to become one with the shadows that offered me sanctuary. Minutes passed like hours, each second an agonizing test of my resolve. Then, as if guided by some unseen force, the intruder turned away, their footsteps fading into the night. Relief washed over me, but I knew the danger had not truly passed. I had merely been granted a temporary reprieve. With trembling limbs, I emerged from my hiding place, cautiously venturing out into the world that had been forever changed by the intrusion. The encounter had left an indelible mark upon my soul, a reminder of the fragility of security and the resilience of the human spirit. As the first light of dawn kissed the horizon, I vowed to fortify my defenses, to confront the lingering fear that now resided within me. The memory of that night would forever haunt my dreams, but it would also serve as a testament to my strength, a testament that even in the face of darkness, I could find the will to survive and emerge from the shadows as a victor. Next story. The Midnight Caller. The night was shrouded in darkness as I found myself alone in the quiet embrace of my home. The world outside had fallen into slumber, but I, restless and unable to find solace in sleep, sat in the dim glow of a single lamp. The silence was broken only by the soft ticking of the clock, a rhythmic reminder of the passage of time. As the hours ticked away, a lingering sense of unease settled upon me, permeating the air with its palpable presence. The familiar surroundings began to morph into an eerie tableau, a once comforting room now imbued with an unsettling energy. Shadows danced on the walls with a spectral intensity, their movements elongated and distorted, as if cast by unseen hands. I could feel their eyes upon me, watching my every move with unseen intent. A chill ran down my spine, and a feeling of being watched weighed heavily upon me. An intangible presence that lurked just beyond the edge of my perception. Curiosity mingled with fear as I mustered the courage to step into the inky blackness of the hallway. The creak of the floorboards echoed in the stillness, each step reverberating with a hollow reminder of my solitude. The air grew heavier, as if thick with an invisible fog that obscured the boundary between the tangible and the ethereal. I hesitated for a moment, my hand hovering over the doorknob before I pushed the door open, revealing a room suffused with an ethereal glow. It beckoned to me, an invitation to unravel the mysteries that lay within. Compelled by a mix of trepidation and curiosity, I crossed the threshold into a forgotten study, frozen in time. Dust-covered shelves lined the walls, their contents a testament to a forgotten past, a collection of yellowed books, aged manuscripts, and faded photographs. The air hung heavy with the scent of old parchment, a nostalgia for a bygone era. But it was the desk at the center of the room that drew me in, a single item resting upon its surface, a vintage telephone. Its existence was incongruous, an anachronism that hinted at something more profound, something beyond the realm of the ordinary. Intrigued by its presence, I reached out to touch it, my fingers trembling with a strange anticipation. As my skin made contact with the cool, smooth surface, a jolt of electricity surged through me, a tingling sensation that seemed to emanate not only from the telephone, but from the very air around it. I hesitated for a moment, contemplating the consequences of my actions. But curiosity got the better of me, and I brought the receiver to my ear, the dial illuminated by an eerie glow that seemed to emanate from within. Silence greeted me at first, a void of sound that stretched into eternity. The weight of expectation bore down upon me, mingled a growing apprehension. Just as I was about to hang up, a voice distant and distorted whispered through the line. It spoke of forgotten secrets, of hidden truths waiting to be unraveled. The words carried an ancient weight, resonating with a sense of longing and melancholy. I listened, captivated and entranced, as the voice wove its tale of darkness and despair, its words leaving an indelible mark upon my soul. As the voice grew stronger, I felt a presence fill the room, an invisible entity that enveloped me in its cold embrace. Shadows shifted and twisted, morphing into grotesque figures that danced along the periphery of my vision. Fear clawed at my heart, threatening to consume me, but I was unable to tear myself away from the voice's hypnotic grip. It held me captive, an unwilling audience to its haunting performance. The tale grew darker, its tendrils weaving into the fabric of my being. Images flashed before my eyes, a tragic love story, a betrayal that echoed through the ages. The voice spoke of vengeance, of restless spirits seeking retribution for the injustices committed against them. And with each word, the room grew colder, the air heavy with a malevolent energy that seeped into my very bones. The lines between reality and the supernatural blurred, as if the veil separating our world from the realm of the spirits had been momentarily lifted. As the voice reached its crescendo, a chilling gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing the lamp that had cast a feeble glow upon the scene. Darkness descended, enveloping the space in an impenetrable shroud. Panic consumed me, and an overwhelming sense of dread settled deep within my core. But the voice continued its relentless assault, its words now dripping with malice and malevolence. The whispers grew louder, their intensity reverberating within the chamber, as if the spectral presence sought to drown me in their collective anguish. Summoning every ounce of courage, I tore myself away from the telephone, casting it aside as if discarding a cursed artifact. The room erupted into a cacophony of whispers, their collective voices rising to a crescendo, a symphony of tortured souls. Shadows encroached upon me, their touch icy against my skin, as if the spectral presence was now tangible, reaching out to claim me as its own. A primal fear gripped me, urging me to flee from the clutches of this unholy realm, to seek solace in the light that awaited beyond the confines of this haunted chamber. As I burst into the safety of the well-lit hallway, the haunting whispers receded, replaced by the silence of my own racing heartbeat. I collapsed against the wall, gasping for breath, thankful to have escaped the clutches of this supernatural torment. Perspiration coated my brow, and a lingering sense of unease settled upon me, an indelible reminder of the horrors I had just witnessed. But even as I tried to forget the harrowing experience, the whispers continued to linger, a chilling reminder of the thin veil between our world and the realm of the supernatural, a reminder that darkness can manifest in the most unsuspecting of places. The midnight caller had left an indelible mark upon my soul, forever etching a tale of horror and the fragility of our mortal existence. And as the night drew to a close, I sought solace in the light of day, vowing to guard against the encroachment of the otherworldly and to embrace the fleeting moments of tranquility that punctuate our lives.